Laptop computer spins onto the screen, opens, and displays ATP Education Program webinar series, closes, and then spins off the screen.
Hi, I'm Kelly Key, Assistive Technology Coordinator in Barrington, Illinois. I have been in the field of special education for over 25 years as a special education teacher, an administrator, as well as the Assistive Technology Coordinator. And today I'm going to share with you some tips on how we have adapted core-based communication devices, or AAC, for students that a core board is just not working for them or it's not enough. And these are some creative ways that we have adapted systems so they are able to access it and successfully communicate. So using a core board or a core-based communication device is an excellent way to quickly access core vocabulary. But what if a student can't access it or it does not meet their individual needs? We're going to check out a variety of ways that we have adapted core-based AAC for individual students. One option is some of our students, we usually start out with as many words as we can, and then we'll adapt from there. Some students, it's just too much. They really need to learn the concept that I press this, I get that. And so we've actually then had to kind of take a step back, but in the end, it really helped them by just putting individual words or phrases, core-based phrases on single voice output devices. These are just a couple of examples of ones that we use. There's a variety of different kinds out there with different companies, but you'll see that the student on the left here, again, we had a voice output core-based device for him and it just wasn't working. So instead what we decided to do, and we saw the magic happen and he saw the magic happen, is we put in different areas of the classroom, we put core-based phrases on devices around the room. So for example, this is his break area. All of his favorite sensory items are in there. They're actually his favorite play items, we call them, but they are really meant for sensory. And on the single voice output switch, we had the word play. And if he pressed it, it would say, can I play? And so he learned that when he walked over there, if he pressed that button, he would look at us, which we were so thrilled with, that connection and that communication. He would look at us and then we would open the box and he'd get to play. We had one with the word go on it over by the door, and he could request to go for a walk. We had on over by the computer. And if he pressed it, it said, can I go on the computer? And he was starting to learn that if I press this, I get that. And then quickly we were able to then go back to a single device where we put this all together. But we really it was an excellent way to teach that particular student how to do that. So there's ones that you can mount on the wall, that are portable, you can put around the classroom, lots of different options to check out. And then we have some core-based static voice output devices. Some students, it really helps to gain their attention and their communication partner's attention if you add a voice to their core board. So on the left here, you can see the GoTalk Express 32. It's our 32 core board, but then has the voice output. This device is pretty neat too, because it actually does have some scanning capabilities as well. And then over on the right, the GoTalk 9. So it's just a modified version of our core board that is in there, has the voice output. And again, it's just for individual students. We always try to give them the largest amount of words and vocabulary as possible, but some students, it really is too much at first. This particular device has worked very well for many of our students just starting out, and it is the TechSpeak 32 by AMDI. And what we love about it are these tech caps. These caps can pop on and off easily, and we can put our 32 board underneath, and it has the voice output. And sometimes when we're targeting certain words, or if the student to show them the power of using their device, we may start out with just a couple words. Again, we open it up as soon as we possibly can, and that's always the goal. But to start off, some students just need to have that a couple words available, and to understand the power of using their words and communicating. And you can see this particular student, loves his device and carries it with him everywhere. But you see the low tech board on the full board on the front. We just, I attached a binding, and we have his fringe on there, his personal core on there, as well as a full board for staff to model on, because we always want to make sure we're modeling as many words as we can on the full board. And then we've taken apps, and we have completely created our own core-based boards on there as well. So ProLicky to Go, our staff loves the ease of programming with it. So we have created a variety of different boards and communication voice output devices using this app. We have a variety of other apps as well, but again, with the ease of programming, they love it. And so we've replicated our 32 boards, added some folders, added voice output. You can see at the top, the one in the blue, this particular student really just needed to condense the amount of words that were available, and fine motor wise had a hard time with the smaller buttons. He actually has a key guard as well. And then the one on the bottom, this particular student was transitioning from a textbook. Parents really liked the idea of keeping the actual photos in there. And so when he first started, he had his actual photos that were in his book as well. That particular student is using LAMP Words for Life, full sequenced, and he's doing phenomenal. But sometimes we do need to start off, at a different place to really show them the success. And then we've customized apps in order to, help meet students, even their vision needs. This is how you can adapt an app just to help support students with CVI. So we've increased the font size. We can change and bold the text, as you can see on the right there with the word eat, and change the background color. And a lot of the devices actually will come with CVI page sets. So make sure you check that out. And then we've done a core exchange. So some of our students really do need more of that picture exchange communication philosophy, where they need to learn the initiation of, I hand you this, I reach out to my communication partner, and then, I get something back. So we have done more of a mashup of a core exchange. And there's a variety of different ways we've done this for individual students. This is just one particular example where you can see we have want, go, eat, and play. And then the tabs on the right will then go to his personal core or his fringe vocabulary under each one of those tabs. So he knows to put it together and then add his personal fringe. We've also done it where the front is actually a core board. This one is one where a student was just starting out. And so the core board has they know to put the icons right back where the core board is so they can start learning that motor memory. And then eventually, of course, move to a device. And then inside, like the other one, the tabs are all based on those core words, and their personal fringe then is under each one of those tabs. For this particular student, he was using LAMP Words for Life and app to communicate, and he was perseverating on having to be on a certain page all the time. He was really having a hard time with his navigation, and he had to always be on the same page. And so we actually took screenshots of his main pages and we made it into more of a core exchange. And he did really well. And it was a little bit cumbersome because, we want communication to be as seamless and easy and not seem like work. But because he, really did put these together and it took a little bit of time, he quickly realized that and went back to his device. But it was really neat to actually see how he was expanding his language more when we made it more low tech, and it taught him the power of putting together those phrases. And so that's what that looks like. And then we have a variety of students that have physical needs that they're young users. We always trial a variety of different access methods, and I'm going to share a few of those in a little bit. But what we've really found is when we're first starting off and they still have not gotten to that access piece, we're always working on access, whether it's switch access. I'll show a variety in a moment. But while we're working on that access piece, we don't want to not work on the communication. So in order to have a systematic way for us to help support their communication and have all this robust vocabulary together, we use Partner-Assisted Core. And I like how the Center for Literacy and Disability Studies from University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, have described it. Very simply, during partner-assisted scanning, the partner lists or scan through the student's choices, presented in a visual, auditory, tactile, and/or signed format. The student makes an indication when their desired choice is being presented. As with any skill that we teach, it is important to provide ongoing models of exactly what we want students to do. As such, others need to model partner-assisted scanning consistently and throughout all activities. And that's what we do. And it's incredible how we have students successfully using it. So here's a couple examples, and I'll show you a video in a moment of us demonstrating how it works. But this particular student has their home page. We always go through and scan in order, in the exact same order every time. And the first thing you really need to figure out is the student's yes response. If the student can't verbally say yes, you're going to figure out what their yes is. A lot of times it takes staff shaping a yes response. Oh, you just looked at me. I think you're telling me yes. Or they perk up, or they may press a switch that says yes. There's lots of different ways that they can respond yes. So I'm going to show with you a video and us demonstrating that. The particular student we're talking about in this video, his yes response is huh. And then he actually then also will shake his head for no. So this our vision teacher here is going to explain it, and I'm on the other end pretending that I'm the student.
Okay. So just going to give an example of how I'd use the AAC with Arav to do a greeting when he comes into a classroom and goes into a new setting. So he has become really familiar with the home screen here. So I will give him a cue and say, okay, we're looking for greetings, or we're listening for it. So then I go through the options on there, and then he tells me what category it's in. So start at the top, and start with quick words, which is where greetings are. And if he remembers, he'll say huh right away. If he doesn't remember, then I go through all the choices. So I go through the quick words, something's wrong, I want, let's go, see if he gives me a yes or a no answer. Then I go to the bottom line. And if he doesn't get it that first time, then I go back and I say, you know what, greetings is under quick words. So go to quick words and I open it up and I tell him, remember, we're listening for greetings. So do the same thing, start at the top. Start with, is it in my name? About me? He gives me yes or no. Greetings, same thing. If he says yes, then I open up greetings. Okay, what kind of greeting do you want to give? Do you want to say hello? What's up? Hey, how are you? And then it's the same thing. He'll give a yes or a no. If he says no to all of them, I usually go back and read through it again. If he's still
You get the idea. So when you're doing that with the student, you're actually going through and you're giving that wait time too. Wait time is very important with any student that's using AAC, but particularly for students that are using partner-assisted scanning. So we would say, is it a quick word? If they give no response, we wait that good 15 seconds of wait time. This particular student would shake his head no. Are you telling me something's wrong? Are you saying I want something? And then they can, huh, or yes. And then you go into I want, and then you give them the choices.
Okay.
This particular student uses partner-assisted core or partner-assisted scanning with her book. She has CVI. She has a book with single images with a dark background. And what she does for her yes response is she will actually tap the book. She will actually raise her hand and tap that page, and it works out great. So very similar, you're going page by page, and you're giving those options she will respond yes, and then you validate that communication. Then we've done things even with just modifying the size of buttons. This particular student, he is out in the community quite a bit. He's older in our transition program, and he wanted to be able to, he's verbal, but it's very difficult if you don't understand, you don't know him to understand sometimes what he's saying. And so when he's out in the community talking to people that he doesn't know, he wanted a device to help clarify what he was saying. He also wanted direct select. And he did a real nice job of raising his hand up and down, but really couldn't cross midline. And so this, just modifying the size of his buttons, was a great way for him to access his communication and vocabulary. And I've mentioned a key guard. Just adding a key guard sometimes is a game changer. And you can buy ones that are already pre-made. You can customize them if you're creating your own setup. And it's been a game changer for some of our students. We also have some students that are using alternative access, like a head pointer. This particular student is using a infrared mouse that is attached to his device, and he can control his device with that. We have students that use switches to access their devices as well. And then I just absolutely love this. The new iPad Pro, it now uses the front camera to allow you to use head control in certain apps. So the Touch Chat app is one of the apps that allows for head control. And I do have one student using this. He used to use a head pointer, and now he uses head control. And this is just me demonstrating what that looks like. I have nothing on my head. It's just using that camera.
I like to have my turn. I'd like to have my turn.
So with that particular setup, what's really nice about that is you can set up what your select is. So it can be a dwell. It can be this particular one I set up for blinking. So when I blink, it selected the word. They have so many different options. You can stick your tongue out. You can smile. So I can really see eventually the iPad being fully accessed with head control in the future. So we also have, I don't have an example here, but we do have a student currently trialing eye gaze as well. So using their eyes to control their device. So there's lots of different options that are out there for your students. It really is being creative. It's going through that set process initially to really get to know the student, get to know what features you feel are most important for the student, and then customizing to them. And so if you haven't watched the set, considering the need for assistive technology video, make sure you go back and watch that. That is an excellent way for you to then help customize for students. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. For more information on the ATP education program, please visit our website at atp.nebraska.gov/education or email us at atp.education@nebraska.gov.